What's up, everybody? You all right? We're starting off today's episode with Matt choking for the second time this morning. That was such an intrusive thought.
The intrusive thoughts won today.
They totally won on that one. Wow. I apologize.
I apologize to our parents.
Wow. Okay, then.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes, yes, the brain was slower than the mouth this morning. All right, what's up, everybody? Don't say it.
I was going to say it.
What are we talking about today?
We are
By the way, it's a beautiful day out there today.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. This weekend is fantastic. We are talking about something that was a kind of a continuation.
Eventually, I'll say what we're talking about. Drink your coffee. Okay. Body fat set point. Oh my God, such an awesome topic. Body fat, body weight, body set point. All the things that
metabolism, whatever it may be.
They drive us crazy when we hear it. I just got a question about this the other week. So I talked about it on my feedback video to my academy. And we were chatting about it as it related to last week's topic. Mm-hmm. In many ways, it relates to what we talked about last week, which started out as an update about our lives.
All of our stuff.
And how we are pivoting. The pivots that Bronson has particularly made recently, and how I've shifted things as I've gotten deeper and deeper into my prep. And so basically changes in life, changes in direction, changes in focus. And as we talked about after that topic to ourselves, to each other, we were like, oh man, this can get misconstrued. The message can get misconstrued. The message can be
twisted.
Yes.
Corrupted.
Convoluted.
By your flipped on its head.
Self-sabotaging emotional brain.
Ooh.
And so we talked about, how it might be taken the wrong way to excuse or let yourself off the hook when you're trying to make healthy changes in your life to improve your life. Mm-hmm. We didn't want people to walk away from last week's topic and use it as an excuse. Oh, well, maybe
I don't have to do anything anymore.
I just shouldn't be trying to get healthier. Maybe I should just let that go. And so that kind of led into...
Go
ahead.
Or fooling yourself into thinking that what you've been saying you wanted the entire time, you don't want anymore, because what you really don't want is the discomfort of the change.
Yep, to do the difficult work that it's going to take to get there.
Because we have people this happens all the time. I want to lose weight. I want to get in shape. I want to get off this medication. Okay, great. Track your food. Well, give me something else to do. That's not what I want to do. I'm willing to do something, just not that thing.
Yep.
And when that thing is the last thing on the list of all of the things I've tried, and that's the only thing I haven't done consistently,
maybe I'll just give up
to get where I want to go, I would rather just give up on the goal than do that one thing.
That's it.
That is not what we were saying last week.
Yep. Okay.
And
sometimes it's, you do the work for a little while, and then you get tired of doing the work. You're like, I don't want to go to the gym anymore. I don't want to track my food anymore.
Yeah.
Because your survival brain, your emotional brain lived the old unhealthy life that you lived for 30, 40, 50 years. Mm-hmm. Did you really think that after 2 weeks or 2 months of doing the hard work of change that it would just become easy to you and you just happy-go-lucky go about doing those things? Yeah. Eventually your brain is fighting back because it's like, hey, this isn't what we do. You know, I thought
This isn't what we
I
do.
thought you were just going to do this for like a week or two, like you used to do, right?
That's a great-
Because what have you done your whole life? If you wanted to go on a diet or you wanted to lose some weight, you would do something for a little while and then you'd get sick of doing it and you'd go back to your old habits. And your brain is used to that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it feels hard to just keep going. But guess what you need to do to get to the goal? You have to keep going and keep doing the uncomfortable, difficult, unique, new, different work. So
there's two things. One thing you just said, I want to.
And they're like, how does this relate to set point?
We'll talk about that
in a minute.
So you just said something. It's the identity. We talk about identity a lot. It's hard to start going to the gym all the time and be consistent with working out and tracking your workouts and trying to improve your fitness if you keep telling yourself you're not a gym person.
Yes. Yes.
If you keep reinforcing the mindset that you don't like going to the gym, if you keep reinforcing the mindset that it's uncomfortable, if you keep reinforcing the mindset that you're embarrassed or you don't know what to do or you don't know how to use it, stop. If you want to improve your fitness, you have to become a fitness person
who enjoys going to the gym.
So stop leaning in the opposite.
Some people just like going to the gym. No. Here's the thing. No. Anybody who's fit now didn't always love going to the gym. My first bikini prep, I hated doing 3 sets of something. I wanted to do 1 set of an exercise and be done and move on. I hated high reps. I was like, why do I have to do 15 or 20 reps of this thing?
Yeah, screw that.
I'm over it.
Screw that.
Right? It was just, I did not enjoy it. It took years for me to enjoy it.
Yeah, and it's still not even the enjoyment of the gym.
I don't enjoy it every time I go.
Right? There's still a lot. Guys, what I'm doing right now, and we haven't talked about our fitness routines as much, but I'm really working towards some strength goals, powerlifting goals. In order for me to get to those goals, right now, every workout that I do, I have to go to a dark place. I get on that. We saw a video last week where the lady was talking about like every time you get under the bar, you pick that bar up and the first thing that goes to your head should be, F this, I don't think I can do this. And that's where I'm at.
You're probably not lifting heavy enough.
And that's where I'm at right now. Every time I get into the bar, I'm like, what am I doing right now?
You're doing what I do with cardio.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I'm talking myself through my cardio session
to get it done. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And to get there. And to get there in the first place.
And when I'm done with it, I'm like, yeah, I feel like a beast. I did all that, right? And I'm feel good about how I look, and I feel good about the effort I'm putting in.
And that's the way I feel about after a cardio session.
If you don't put the effort in, there's no effort to feel good about.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And ultimately what's really going to change your life and change your physique for the long term is embracing and craving the effort, not the result of the effort.
Yeah.
Another big thing that gets people, burned out is you just want the result so bad, you never embraced the habits that get you there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's what always sends you backwards after the fact. You backtrack, you regain, you don't keep your results because you never embraced the work it takes.
Well, because they never embraced who they have to become.
Yes.
Okay? As much as it's a challenge for us sometimes, for me to come home from work and go to the gym, for her to get her head out of her work on the computer and be like, I have to stop what I'm doing. I'm focused on, I have a project I'm working on, but I have to stop and go to the gym. The things that we're doing, we have just as many excuses not to go as you guys do.
Easily. Yep.
Okay? But that's not who we are.
That's it.
We're not the people because we've decided not to be those people.
I said to a client the other week, you're not burned out. The old, fat, unhealthy, overweight,
unmotivated,
sedentary you from the past is burned out.
Yes. The old you is burned out.
The old you,
Yeah.
not the you're working to create.
So that's one thing to understand, guys. You have to embrace who you want to become and stop. It's the ex relationship analogy. It all comes back, guys. If you've watched any of our videos, we end up talking about the same crap all the time. If you want to build a new relationship with yourself, you have to stop calling up your old self. Okay? It's not Saturday night at 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay? You're moving on.
This, yes.
You're moving on and you're going into a new relationship.
You've got to end the booty calls.
You got to end the booty calls with your old self. Okay? That's how this works.
Ooh, that's good. That's good
All right.
stuff. So, okay, so
I got another piece.
Okay.
I got another part.
Okay.
And this is the part about the not using what we said last week. Okay? You brought this up when we were talking about you have to be honest with yourself. And
yes.
You mentioned it last week.
Yes.
When you tell yourself, okay, I'm giving this up, whatever that may be. Maybe I'm changing. It's a different season. This isn't my priority anymore. You will know when you say that if you are being honest about that thing. Is this truly something I'm not interested in right now? Or am I just trying to avoid the work that it's going to take to get there? Okay? If you feel some kind of way about letting that go, then you need to address why you don't want to do what you need to do to get there. Because that's the real issue.
That's the real issue.
It's not that you don't want that goal anymore. Because here's what we see happen. I don't want this goal anymore. Great. I'm going to relieve all the stress in my life for trying to get something I don't really want, which means I don't have to do this thing anymore. Oh, but I heard this other thing that could help me get there. So let me try that. Well, if you don't want that thing anymore, then nothing else should attract you to get that thing.
Yeah.
If you were still looking at a way to get that thing, then it's not the thing you don't want, it's the work you don't want.
Ooh. Ooh.
And if it's the work you don't want, you really, really need to do some self-awareness, self-reflection, and figure out what is the blocker, what is the resistance to doing that thing. Because I guarantee you, every single time, if you do that thing, you will get where you're trying to go, because that's the thing that's keeping you back.
I was going to say 9 times out of 10, the work you're avoiding is the answer. All these other things you're trying is you avoiding the work that you need to do.
Bingo.
That is the actual thing that will get
Bingo.
you the results. You just think these other gimmicks or hacks or shortcuts are going to get you there faster without having to do the work.
Yep. And here's the thing. A lot of it is if I'm doing something, it's better than nothing.
Or it's
I'm doing all these things. I've tried everything.
Nothing annoys me more.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
The fact that you're trying everything. Yeah. That's the problem.
And you probably
do the thing that you don't want to do, and you will get where you want to go.
You probably didn't try any of those things long enough for them to actually work.
That's a whole, yeah.
But yeah, you've got to stop jumping around to the next thing. That's actually one of the ways that you know you're avoiding the work, is when you're jumping to the next hack that you hear about.
Yeah.
The next thing that you think this one thing is going to be the answer. The truth is, yes, it will probably get you some kind of result faster that you are not going to be able to keep. Bingo. Because the work you're avoiding, and ultimately it's the who you become in the process of doing the hard work.
Babe, you just
that is what will keep the results forever.
Anything that you do, I'm going to see if I can say this the way it's in my head. Anything that you do to put effort in without changing is keeping you where you are. You're doing all of these things, but you're not changing anything about your mind or how you live your life. It's the thing that you don't want to do that's going to cause a change in who you are,
how you
that
show
creates the change
how you think,
that you can sustain.
And here's the thing, your behaviors are a function of your thoughts. So if you're not working on the thoughts about the behaviors, you are never going to change your behaviors. And here's how it ties to the body fat set point or weight set point. If you think your body wants to be at a certain weight no matter what you do, that's BS.
That's
your body
BS.
doesn't just...
Well, we just jump right into that one.
But no, but here's how it connects.
Yes.
There is a set point. You know what creates your body weight and your body fat set point?
You do.
Your behaviors.
Your actions, your choices, your decisions
are what is creating the set point. So next time you think or you want to say or use the excuse, well, my body just wants to be at this weight.
No, it doesn't.
Or
you
my
do.
body just keeps going back to this body fat percentage.
No, it doesn't. You do.
It is doing what you tell it to do. Your body cannot do anything
On its
that
own.
you do not tell it to do by the actions that you take.
What is a set point? Ask yourself this. What is a set point? Just define that to yourself. What is, when I say my body's at a set point, what am I saying? What I'm saying is my body has settled into a level of balance based on what I am doing in my life.
Homeostasis.
That is, okay, it's a balance.
Balance is homeostasis.
The
Your body
activities that I
wants-
do.
Your body does want to be the same all the time, no matter what you do.
Ooh, that's a great way to look at it.
And
yes.
here's the thing. So, whatever you are doing is creating a homeostatic
Or
balance.
not doing.
No, it's whatever you are actually doing
Well,
consistently
right, well, I'm
is
saying-
what is teaching your body to be where it is.
Correct.
At any given time.
Right. And I'm saying what you're not doing is also doing.
Right, because you're not
It's-
changing anything that
right.
you're doing.
If there's no activity, your body's going to get used to no activity. If there is activity, your body's going to get used to activity.
I
in
used
whatever system
the
we're talking about.
example of where I was in my off season. At the height of my off season, before I started, I did a mini cut in March, April to get to or April, May to get to the fashion show. And I took off about 4 or 5 pounds over that time. And then I took a break, went to maintenance, hung out there for a bit, and then I started the prep for this show. So before I started cutting the mini cut at all, I was sitting at my highest body fat percentage. I was sitting at my highest weight. I could call that a body weight and body fat set point because every time I do an off season and I push my food intake up to the highest level and my activity, meaning cardio, general daily activity beyond training, down to the lowest level, and even my training goes from being a more energetic, active type training to sitting and pushing heavy weight, not standing and pushing more reps and things of that nature. Just everything pulls my activity level down and my caloric intake, my macronutrient intake, my food intake high up. Low activity, high food intake. Guess what happens? Body fat increases, weight increases. And then I settle at this higher body weight and body fat percentage. I could say, look, my body just likes to be there. No, y'all, it's because I stopped moving as much and I started eating more. And then...
And different things. And you change what you eat, right? You go higher. We have
Higher
a
fuel.
couple more, air quotes, cheat days. Like there's other things.
Higher fuel, meaning higher fat, higher carbs, one or the other or both, and more dining out.
More dining out.
So that means I can be
less
accurate
strict
in my tracking, estimating more, kind of letting things slide a little bit, right? So after that first mini cut, what happened? I got that first 4 or 5 pounds off. Then I went back up to maintenance and I hung out at that new set point. I kept my activity a little bit higher than it was in my previous, and I didn't go as high on the food intake, but I'm now kind of hanging out in this middle level of activity and food intake. And I hung out at that same body fat weight set point. And then guess what happened when I wanted to cut for this show? I had to increase my activity some more, pull back some more on the food intake. And oh my gosh, what happened?
What?
my weight and my body fat dropped. And now I'm 5 pounds lower than that.
You're almost at your show weight.
Almost.
Got
Yeah.
a few more pounds.
I'd like to be about 5 pounds lighter, but it's probably not going to get there this
And
time.
it's the same with me. It's the same with anybody, guys. Here's the thing is, I mean, we already said it. Your body is only going to respond to the things that you do. Adaptation, okay, is how our bodies function. Our bodies, the one single purpose of all of the systems in our bodies, our metabolism's only job is to keep us alive. And it has to keep everything as balanced as possible in order to give us the best chance of survival. Okay? So anything that we do, our body has to respond and adapt to maintain that balance. And when we talk about a set point, what we're doing is we're on a seesaw, okay? And our metabolism's on one side, and I'm not talking about how fast we burn fuel. Our metabolism is
so much more
all of the functions in our body that keep us alive, okay? And your lifestyle's on the other side of the seesaw. They are balanced. Whatever your set point is, wherever you're stuck, you're balanced. In order to change that set point, you have to
disrupt the
balance. You have to do something different in your lifestyle to tip that seesaw in your favor. Right now, you guys are not making the changes that need to be made. You're struggling against that one thing you don't want to do and then saying, well, my body just doesn't want to change. No.
It would change if you did it, if you did what needed to happen.
Your mind needs to change.
And that's why when you can't keep it off, when you can't maintain the results, it is because you have changed something back to what you used to do.
Oh my gosh,
right?
Yes.
So coming out.
How long do I have to do this?
Yeah, forever if you want to keep the results. Now, do
we know what sustainable means?
But here's the thing, you may not need to maintain extremes.
Right.
You know, once you have, especially the thing that we always harp on is build some muscle, y'all. Because when it's only ever been about diet for you, that's part of why you're not maintaining.
Ooh, you just segued into the next thing that I want to talk about.
Okay.
Can I say?
Go for it.
Okay. Following last week's talk, one of the other aspects of what we were talking about, and when we were prepping for this video, if you decide that you're going to make a change, it's a new season, it's a whatever else, it should not be simply, I don't want that goal anymore. What it should be is, I've identified something else that's more important for me to work on, to make myself better.
Yes, this is the key right here.
This is the key to the whole discussion. We talked a lot last week about the changes that I'm making. Okay, I'm stepping back from more one-on-one, or from more group coaching. I'm stepping back from programs. I'm stepping back from social media. I'm doing all that stuff. Guys, I'm not sitting on my ass. Okay, I am doing a lot more of that.
He couldn't sit on
but it's not that I'm just stopping that stuff and I'm not doing anything. I'm in a master's program. I still have projects and things that I'm going to research and work on. But the shift is more focusing on me and my stress management and less on trying to push. That doesn't mean I'm not pushing or moving forward, right? It's a development thing for myself. So it's not that I'm stopping this and I'm done, I'm not doing anything. I'm still working to improve myself and move forward, just in a different way.
And in your case, being honest with yourself was that you don't want that particular goal.
Right.
That you were working toward it, but it was not that you didn't want to do the work.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. It wasn't giving me the satisfaction that I wanted. Right. And I was getting more satisfaction. Guys, there's been a huge shift. I love coaching. I still love coaching. I love group coaching. I love one-on-one coaching. I love coaching in person. I love coaching remotely, all that kind of stuff. The satisfaction that I get out of writing and speaking transcends all of that.
So he had to be honest about his priorities.
As much as I've had in my head that I'm Coach Bronson, I have to be coaching. That is never going to change, but where I want to be right now is in writing and speaking.
Yeah.
And that's the focus.
Yeah. And it was particularly, too, the big shift away from the social media,
Right.
pushing the social media, because it's like, why am I doing this? Why am I pushing the social media when it's not aligned with where I'm trying to go right now?
Yeah.
And that was the honesty there. For some of you, your honesty is going to be, I am now at a place where I am skinny fat because I'm still pursuing weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the honesty is that I don't need to pursue weight loss anymore.
I need to get strong. I need to build muscle. I need to be physically capable.
And I may need to eat more, and I may need to allow myself to put on a little bit of weight as I build that muscle.
To build that foundation.
And let go of the fear of gaining fat, right? Some people are there, right?
Yeah.
Other people are in a place where they have been pursuing fat loss for so long that they're fasting multiple days. Maybe you still have a lot of body fat to lose, but you are malnourished. And you just need to pump the brakes in this season and say, you know what? I'm going to go, like I said, I did my mini cut. And then what did I do? I went back to maintenance. And I hung out there for a little while before I went back into a cut. Some of you have just been, even if you've been 1 foot in, 1 foot out, that's part of the problem. This is what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
That 1 foot in, you're going to extremes. And fasting
and 1 foot out,
extended
you're
days.
extremes too, right?
And 1 foot out, now you're binging. And if you just stopped the pursuit for 3 months and just decided I'm not going to try to pursue this right now, but the question that he's getting at, that he was just talking about, is what are you going to be focused on over the next 60 or 90 days? Y'all, there's 57 days left in the year, and then we're going to be in January. What I would rather for you is to sit down and decide what's most important for you right now. As you're looking at the next 60 days, do you want to say, you know what, I am not going to pursue fat loss anymore right now? Because really in the back of your mind, you're thinking about all the crap you want to eat over the next couple months? Or do you really not want that goal? So if you're going to let go of fat loss right now because you're so burned out, ask yourself, what am I going to do over the next 2 months that will put me in a better position to be able to focus on it in January?
Because here's the thing, guys, this is another piece. The journey to where you want to go is multiple steps, and there's multiple things that need to be improved in order for you to get there. So changing your focus is a natural part of the process. There's going to be things that are going to become more important. Just in your journey, we're not even talking about as life happens and you got to manage all the other things that may have priorities and comes up and things like that. But just on your journey, if you're feeling like I've been trying to lose these last 10 pounds for the past 5 years and I just can't get them off, they keep coming on, they keep coming off, it keeps coming off. Maybe the weight loss focus should be put to the side. And what other aspect of the whole picture can you focus on?
The behaviors we talked about earlier,
behaviors,
the habits,
or even body changes.
Mindset.
Even maybe I need to stop focusing on weight loss and start focusing on building muscle. And just by changing the mindset of I'm going to get as strong as hell, that will be the missing piece that pulls something else in line.
Yes.
Right?
But the being honest with yourself piece is, why am I pulling back on this goal right now? Is it because I really don't want the goal, Or is it because, as we talked about earlier, I just don't want to do the work it's going to take to get there?
Yeah.
Or is it because the holidays are coming up and I really just want to eat like an asshole for the next 60 days? Because if that's the case,
Suck it up, buttercup.
there's nobody that I'm going to recommend to just decide not to do it right now so you can eat your face off and be in a much worse position.
That's the habit. That's the mindset. That's the thing that you need to address in order to get to the next level. Because that's the thing you've been doing that's kept you where you are.
Over and over. That's why you're on this hamster wheel, this yo-yo string. Okay, I heard a video. I've got to talk about this. The set point idea, right? Maybe this will hit for some people. So I was watching the person I never like to watch, but in this particular case, I was interested in what he had to say about the science of set point. This was Lane Norton.
I knew that's what you were going to say. As soon as you,
But this was fascinating to me. Did y'all know that set point works both ways? If you are overfeeding, you are creating a higher set point. And this is a little scary thought. They did a rat study where they overfed mice, and they not only, it wasn't just about filling up the fat cells. They actually created new fat cells. So when they, not only they went back to their old high weight, they actually went another, was it 40% above that? Or it was 40 grams in this case, because the mice weighed like 700 grams or something. So it wasn't until they got to 740 grams in body weight above their old high that their leptin, y'all are so obsessed with leptin and cortisol, right? It's my leptin, it's my cortisol. It's your behaviors that are driving the leptin and the cortisol response. So next time you want to make an excuse and say, it's because of my leptin that I have this set point.
How did your leptin
How did it get that way?
How did it get that way?
What this particular study showed was this is the yo-yo dieting, the dieting to extremes, and then going in the other direction. All my people out there binging after you finish a diet.
Priming and feasting.
That's what drove the creation of new fat cells, and now making that set point even higher.
Yeah.
So it's your behaviors that drive the set point.
Not your body.
Your body doesn't decide to be there or do that.
On its own.
Ask yourself, why does my body want to be here? What is the homeostatic balance that I have created? And how have I created that? What am I doing that is creating the current set point? And what would it take for me to change that set point?
Yes.
And it is not going to be a bad thing for any of you, those of you who are overweight, over body fat, over fat. It is never going to be a bad idea for you to move your body more than you are right now, to be more active in whatever way that looks like that's different than what you're doing now. Meaning, if all you're doing is walking leisurely right now, once a day, and you're not changing, you need to do more than walking.
I'll say this, guys. When we talk about set point, when we talk about, number one, changing your body, doing something to get past that sticking point, and then number two, doing it in such a way that it will stay there, okay? There are two main keys, right? We could talk about
how to change your set point.
All of these different things, okay? The first thing we talked about, it's mindset. You got to change something. If you're not willing to change it, then it's never going to change.
Nothing changes if nothing changes.
That's the biggest thing.
And this
comes
before the action.
Yes, from a practical perspective, if you're looking for one thing to do, to change your health, to change your body, to get off medication, anything that you want to do, there's only one thing that's at the top of the list, and it's guys, build some fucking muscle.
He did it.
Okay?
He cursed.
If you are not
That's when he's serious.
actively trying to increase your muscle mass, you will struggle, you will fail, and you will yo-yo and go back and forth, and you will have to work your butt off 18 million times harder to keep whatever gains you get because your body cannot support the changes you're making in your nutrition.
Yes.
You can make all the changes in your nutrition you want. They will not stick because you're not changing your body to support it.
And this is why you don't just want to be doing diet and cardio. If you keep going to diet and cardio, by cardio we mean walking. We mean anything that is activity that is not specifically focused on putting muscle on your body is basically cardio. Everything else is cardio. Mm-hmm. If you just keep going to eat less, move more, it's not that simple.
It's not going to work.
It's not that simple. This is why we talk about macros and we talk about training. Because calories and cardio, the eat less, move more model, this is why it doesn't work.
Never has worked.
This is why
it's all, everyone thinks it's about
it doesn't mean
willpower and
that
starving.
It's not true. It doesn't mean, it just means that there's more nuance to it. It's not as simple as just eating less in general of any kind of food.
Or moving more. Because
moving more in general.
Any movement is a great conversation for someone who's not moving at all.
At all. Yes.
If you're at a point where you've been doing this for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, and you're wondering what is going on, nothing is working, it's because you're not building any muscle. You're not going to the gym, getting under some weight where you have to say, fuck, I don't think I can lift this. Yep. If you're not having that conversation with yourself, then you're not doing what you need to do to make the changes and keep them.
And let's kill the excuses real quick. For those of you who have 50, 80, 100 pounds to lose, your body is the weight. You don't need to worry about getting to the gym.
Yes.
I don't want to give you any opportunity to make any excuse of why you can't do this.
Yes.
Doing air squats is going to make a difference for you. Doing lunges holding onto the wall is going to make a difference.
Walk up and down the stairs.
These things where you're moving 80 to 100 pounds more than the rest of us just by moving your body, your own body weight. Doing push-ups against the wall until you can go to a lower surface and then a lower surface and then a lower surface is resistance training. Your body is the weight. You are doing weight training.
Here's an easy way to tell if you're doing resistance training. Is it hard to move or not?
Oh, I love that. Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
If it's hard to move, then it's resistance training. For some people right now, that is walking. When you get to a point where you can walk around the block, no big deal, that's no longer resistance training. Yep. Now it's, I need to go walk up a hill, or I need to walk up the stairs, or I need to start carrying something with me when I walk.
Rucking.
Whatever it means.
You have to make it harder.
Hard to move your body?
This is what he talks about all the time. The next step for you, wherever you are, is make whatever you're doing harder or do something else. Add something else.
Yeah.
That's harder. When you have to improve is how you're actually going to change your body.
Yeah. So the easiest thing you guys could do, and this is, maybe it's a relief to hear that you don't have to do anything else with your nutrition. What if I told you guys that you could do everything that you're currently doing right now with nutrition? If you're not weight training, go weight training and you'll see progress. Go weight training, and you'll see progress.
Never have to go on another diet again.
Right? A lot of you are super on point with what you're doing and you're still not seeing the progress. It's because your body hasn't caught up to what you're doing nutritionally.
You need metabolically active tissue. That is what muscle is. It is literally eating away at the fat on your body on its own without needing to do anything different with your diet.
Yeah. So we're so focused on the nutrition piece.
Yeah. So the big question to you is, number one, are you being honest with yourself?
Yes.
Number two, if you're not going to continue on the plan that you're on, what are you going to focus on?
Yes.
if you still want that goal.
Or some other
After
goal.
you've been honest with yourself about the
Right.
goal.
If your goal is broader too, right? And that's the other aspect. We got to make sure we're looking at a deeper, more impactful goal. If my goal has always been and is only just I want
Reach
to
a
lose
body
weight,
a particular body
then
weight.
it's a lot harder in this have this conversation to think of what else I could look at. But if my goal is I want to enjoy my life and live to its fullest and engage with people and engage in activities and be able to do things physically and not be dependent on others as I get, there's a whole bunch of other stuff there that allows you to expand the possibilities on what you could focus on.
And this is the why, y'all. This is the why. If for those of you who are stuck on a number on the scale that you want to be, or just losing weight in general, and you don't even have a number in mind, it's just all about losing weight, ask yourself why. When I get to that weight, or when I lose the weight, what is that going to provide for me? How is my life going to look different? You know, what is it that I'm actually trying to achieve with the weight loss? And that will answer that question for you about ultimately what we always talk about, not shrinking your life, but expanding your life.
Ooh, I love it.
If you're talking about something you said just triggered something. Living your life to the fullest. For some of you, you think that means being able to eat all the junk food whenever you have an opportunity, right? For some of you, the people in your life think that that's what it means. When you're trying
Just
to
live a
become
little.
healthier, they're telling you to live a little. They're telling you to, enjoy your life, enjoy the holidays. Some of you really need
YOLO.
to identify what enjoying social events means to you. We recently had this conversation in my group about alcohol. And being honest with yourself, some of my ladies have identified that I used to think that I needed alcohol to have fun at events and to enjoy events. And then I realized it makes me angry. It makes me get into arguments with people I love. It makes me forget or black out at the end of the event and not even remember the time that I had. Is that really enjoying the event? And some of you, it's this way with junk food, and this is the way it used to be for me. I used to think living life to the fullest meant eating all the things that made me sick physically. And then what would happen is I'd have a headache, a stomach ache, I'd be in my head. I was no longer present with the people that I was with. I remember driving home from restaurants having to or when I was a passenger, having to lay the seat back because I was so sick after an event.
Open the window, get the fresh air. Like all
Was that me enjoying and living life to the fullest and living a little? No, I was shrinking my life. And for some of you, you can't even imagine going to an event and being able to stick to your diet. Because when you're at the event, you're completely obsessed with the food around you and whether or not you're going to eat it. And you're not present with the people at the event either. So then what do? You're like, well, if I want to stick to my diet, I can't go to any social events. Or I'm going to go to the social event and eat everything. There is something you need to be focused on that has nothing to do with tracking macros or going to the gym or anything else. And this is something I told a client of mine who's graduating with me this week. I said, I think for you right now, you need to work on the emotional eating and forget about everything else, because that is the thing that is holding you back. And for those of you who are obsessed with food, whether it's carnivore food or standard American diet food or whatever, all you do is think about food all day and what you're going to eat or not eat, or how you're going to stick to your diet or not, or stick to your macros or not. You need to work on that. That is the only thing you need to work on, because until you heal your relationship with food, it does not matter what diet or macros or plan or anything that you try to stick to, you're not going to be able to stick to it, because the problem is not with getting the right macros. You need to work on this.
Yeah.
Focus on the one thing, like you said.
Well, once you've
There's
made
a book
the
by that name,
decision,
by the way.
once you've made the decision to do something, then there's no anxiety about it.
Don't decide every
Right.
day. Make choices. In the moment, you're making choices. that either align or don't align with the decision that you have already made.
Yeah. The
But
reason,
you're not making the decision
right.
again and again and again every day.
And that's where a lot of people struggle, is
Yes.
because they're trying to convince them, every time they see a donut, they're trying to convince themselves that they don't want the donut because they still want the donut.
Yeah.
They've never actually decided, I don't want the donut.
Or be honest with yourself and say, yeah, I want the donut because I think it tastes good.
Right.
But what's the other side of that?
Oh, what did I say?
It
in my
would not
post?
be, because trying to fool yourself into thinking you don't want to eat something that you really want to eat, it's bullshit to your mind. And your
Yes.
mind is going to fight back on that. So be fully honest with yourself.
Guys.
There were times where I was pursuing a goal and I wanted to eat the junk. And I was like, damn, I really want to eat that right now. But that is not going to get me where I'm trying to go. So what matters more to me right now?
Yeah. And this is, we're going to be here for an hour. It just happened to me this last week
What?
with the Boston creams.
Oh, yeah.
I go to work and there's 2 boxes of donuts on the table in our office, Boston creams and everything just screaming my name. In case you guys don't know, Boston creams are at the top of my list.
Most
things.
donuts he could care less
I could
about.
give a crap about any donut, really, except Boston
Except
creams.
Boston cream.
Maybe Bavarian creams. Or not Bavarian creams, but it's the same cream inside with the powdered. What are those?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, just
What are
the
those
cream
called?
filled, the
It's just
powder
cream,
ones.
it's the powder ones. It's the cream. But Boston cream's top of the list. And I texted her. I was like, somebody bought Boston creams and jokingly. I wasn't actually
I was wondering
considering.
if he was actually going to eat one.
I wasn't actually considering doing it because we have a photo shoot in Mexico in a couple of weeks that I need to be ready for. And understanding where I'm trying to go, even though there's a desire to eat them, it's not that I'm not denying that desire is there. I'm acknowledging that desire is not stronger than my decision.
And here's the thing, it's not...
The donut doesn't control me.
Did he want to eat it in terms of like, that would taste good? But
Yeah.
did he want to eat it more than he wanted what he's trying to achieve? Because that's, if you're struggling with the desire for these things, right? Just get clear on what desire is stronger for you. Do I want the results I'm looking for more than I want the taste of that thing? Ultimately, that's what's happening in my mind when I go on a cut.
Well, you say it all the time. When you're hungry, you know it's working.
Yeah, yeah, and I lean into that.
Yeah.
I lean into that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
All right.
we could go on. I think we got guys next week. You all want to be here. That's all I want to say. Next
Have a little
week,
clickbait for next week's topic.
y'all want to be here. I'm going to put the thumbnail up a little early and see if we can get some interest. We had a topic that came up in conversation with clients, and we think it's something we've alluded to and talked about before in general, but we've never specifically addressed this one thing.
This was an aha moment for a client the other day, and she said, you have to do a coffee talk on this specifically. And so we're leaning in. We wouldn't normally go this.
Well, we've said
hard,
it. We've had this conversation.
We have.
It's just going to be this whole thing.
We wanted to not go over anyone's head, so we're going to go straight into it.
Yeah, that's it. We've talked about it broadly before, but it's possible that people miss the message. So we're going to be very clear in the message next week. So when you see the link come out, when you see the thumbnail come out, please share it. Let people know, because I think it'll be a good one. I think it's one that a lot of people need to hear. It is something that we see at every conference that we go to.
Yep.
It is something that we see in groups and communities and forums and everywhere in the keto carnivore community, that is keeping people where they are. And we want to help provide a path forward to get people to the next level, because you all deserve it. Y'all need to get to that
Look,
place
y'all know
where,
we keep it real, so we're gonna
gosh.
keep it 100%, like
Yeah.
we always do.
Cool.
Should we answer some questions? You got a couple of questions
Let's go to the back. Okay, let's,
that are maybe not related to the topic,
yeah.
but
Let's see. Simpson, hey, what's up? Stopped weightlifting after Coach N since I thought I needed a break. Did seem to be recovering and my muscles were sore, but I didn't restart until later after starting creatine.
yes or no?
Yes or no? I'm not sure
Yes
what
or
the
what's
yes or
the-
no, or is my mindset just making excuses? I'm not exactly sure what that means,
Let me
Simpson.
see. Hold on, let me go back. Hold on.
It sounds like,
Stopped weight training.
yeah.
Thought I needed a break. Didn't seem to be recovering, and my muscles were sore. Didn't restart.
So there's a lot of questions there. What does sore mean? How long were they sore? I mean, sore muscles is not a bad thing. You should be somewhat sore and have some discomfort after you train. If you're in pain and unable to work for 3 or 4 days after you work out,
You probably just
that's
went too
different.
hard,
That's went
honestly.
too hard. It's not a creatine thing. Creatine is about energy and the ability to do more. So actually, if you're doing more than you need to, you probably don't need creatine because having energy for your workouts is not a problem.
Yeah.
So
So here's
finding
the
a
thing,
balance
though.
between how much you do and how quickly you recover is
Here's the thing about weight training. You don't ever have to stop.
right.
I want that to be clear. Like, if your mindset is burned out on it and you just have zero desire to go to the gym, try some different activities for a little while. But don't stop doing anything. I don't know if you stopped doing anything.
Yeah.
After my shows in the past, I have gone and done dance classes
That's an
or
extreme.
hot yoga or something unique because I just didn't have a drive to go train in the gym anymore. And after a couple of weeks or a month of doing something else, I wanted to get back in the gym.
Yep.
Now, if you were trying to establish the habit of weight training in the first place, and then you take a break, you're probably going to regress back to where you were and you're not
You
going to want
start
to
all
go
over
back.
again, yeah.
So, I would say for most of you, unless you have been training for years consistently, do not take a break. You can go lighter, you can shorten the duration, you can go fewer days a week and recover better and give yourself that time to recover. But taking months off of training is not what you need.
No.
It's not what pretty much anyone ever needs.
Nope.
That's not going to be the answer most of the time.
Rhonda says, "Oh my God, you guys got me."
Yeah,
could
and
you
Myra
know?
said the same thing. Myra's like, it's like you're just talking to me.
Rhonda says Boston cream. Apple fritter? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she has a thing with the apple fritters.
Okay. And Sheila says, when I work out, lift weights, I'd be way more hungry, can't afford to eat more money-wise, so I just ignore the hunger. I mean, you have to do what you got to do, guys. Everybody's lifestyle and financial situation and all of that is different.
But also, what's your goal?
Well, yeah.
What's your goal?
What's your
Because
goal?
if you're trying to build muscle and you're not trying to lose body fat, then being hungry all the time, especially if you're underweight, I mean, we have no idea where you're starting from, right? But in general, let me just say, for those of you who are underweight or undermuscled, skinny fat, and trying to put on muscle and that's your primary goal, then you're not going to want to ignore hunger and just be hungry all the time.
Right. Oh,
But if fat loss is your goal, is your main focus, and you're training and you're hungry, like he said, I always see that as this is working. My body's taking the body fat off my body.
yeah.
to
You want
use
to
for
balance,
fuel.
but you always want to balance that with getting adequate nutrition. So if you're getting enough of what you need, everything else there is variable. So starting at the basics, I don't know what your financial situation is.
Yeah, we don't know how much
You
you're eating
can
already
get,
anyway.
right, you can get meat and eggs for cheap.
Yeah.
It's not that expensive. You can go, I think it's what, $10, $15 for
Especially eggs.
a 5 pound tube of ground beef at
Get the cheapest
Walmart.
meat and the cheapest eggs you can find.
The cheapest meat and the cheapest eggs you can get is going to be better than anything else that you can get.
Yep. You can get
Okay.
cheap canned tuna,
Canned tuna,
canned fish.
whatever it may be. So the other question that you have to ask, and I don't know your situation, but this is just a general thing. Are you actually spending your money where it needs to be spent if your health and nutrition is a priority?
Oof, that's a good one.
There's a lot of people out there who talk about, I don't have money, but they're Starbucks every day. There's a lot of people out there talking about, I don't have money, and they're doing this or that or this and that, right? Is Netflix more important than eating food and feeding your family?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I'll tell you what we spend our money on is food and supplements and travel, for the most part.
Out in business stuff, but
I do not own a single designer bag or designer pair of shoes.
yeah.
And every time y'all ask me what I'm wearing in the gym, I'm like, I got it at Ross. Or
we were just
Marshalls or
at
TJ
Ross
Maxx.
yesterday looking for stuff.
I don't spend money on clothing and really anything besides. It's all about food.
And me.
I would rather, I spend money on steaks for you.
You do. Yep.
And, fillets from time to time. And, but it's Costco is the biggest, probably the biggest monthly expense. For those of you who don't have a lot for groceries, don't do supplements. You don't need to do any supplements, and you don't need to do anything packaged.
Thank you.
The packaged processed stuff costs more than real food.
The health you're going to get out
So
of it.
look at your grocery bill and see where your grocery bill is going, and direct 99% of it to real food.
We should figure out a way to do a nutrition cost calculator.
Ooh,
How much are you spending versus how much nutrition are you getting?
ooh, I love that.
I have no idea what that even looked like.
Per dollar
Or something like that. I have no idea how that would even look. That would probably be way more complicated than,
Yeah.
but that's the idea. Like, that's what you got to think about. How many meals am I getting out of the money that I'm spending? How much nutrition am I getting out of those meals? All of that kind of stuff, right? You really got to start looking at that stuff. So.
I love it. I love it.
Uncle Renach says, you guys are a cute couple. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Anything else?
Myra says, I love the comment of what metabolism is.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
And
much more than metabolic rate.
Much more than metabolic rate, much more than fuel burning. If anybody's interested in a really good in-depth definition and discussion about metabolism and its impact on your health, get my latest book, Body Confident. I've got multiple chapters where we talk about metabolism, systems of function, and all the different ways that our body works to keep us alive.
Yeah, and Simpson asks, how's the book going? It could be going better if y'all write reviews.
Reviews, please write
really
reviews,
need
guys. I need
reviews.
reviews. We're trying to get to a certain point. I was in the top 20 of ketogenic diets last week, and it's bumped back down. But I need reviews, okay? So thank you very much for the support. We'll see you guys next week. Please stay tuned for next week. It's going to be a doozy.